We'd like to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. This is the brother Yachanan from the GMS Houston camp, and this is just a quick lesson touching on the laws and how this world that has been given into the hands of the wicked, how they will run it, and how it will not be fair for the people on the earth, because it's the wicked. The tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. So, just jumping right into it, let's get Psalms 94 and verse 20. And I'm going to get a few different versions. I'll start with the KJV. It says, "Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law? And to you, Esau, Edom." Do you think you're going to be close to the Most High? You think you're a God-fearing nation, all this, but everything that you do is rejecting the Lord. Like it says in, let's get it real quick. Psalm 50. No, let's do it like this. Hopefully my phone doesn't start acting up. This is Psalms 50, and I think I'll start around 15. Because this is a God-fearing nation. They say it went to 1. They say fear the Lord, this and that. Is a God-fearing nation. It's built on Judeo-Christian principles and this, that, whatever, which is just a bunch of nonsense. These Edomites, these elites, the wicked that have been given control of the earth, that are in charge of Babylon the Great. They make up their own rules. They do what they want to do. So this is Psalms 50 and verse 16. And I'll get it in the NLT. "But the Most High says to the wicked, why bother reciting my decrees and pretending to obey my covenant?" So the wicked, you have the sons of God, the sons of men, and the sons of the wicked. The sons of the wicked are the descendants of Esau, Edom. It says this in Malachi, the first chapter. They are the border of wickedness. Wherever they go, wickedness follows. They cannot do good. Habakkuk, I believe the second chapter, says his soul, his spirit is not upright in him. He cannot do right. Not Revelation. Hebrews says that Esau is a fornicator, that he was rejected. He's a reject. He can't do right. And Psalms 50 and verse 16 again. But the Most High says to the wicked, why bother reciting my decrees and pretending to obey my covenant? And this is what they do. They even pretend. It's through what? Supersessionism. Matter of fact, let's do something like this. So I put in here. Okay. He's going to do me like that. I put in here is supersessionism playing pretend. Is supersessionism playing pretend? And it says, no, supersessionism is not playing pretend. It is a serious historical theological framework, you nincompoop. No. Google would call me a nigger if it could. Said, it is a serious historical theological framework, also known as replacement theology, holding that the Britannica Christian Church has succeeded or replaced ancient Israel as God's covenant people. While heavily criticized today as a theological and moral error, it was treated by many historical theologians as literal, foundational interpretation of salvation history. oh man, this is beautiful, because sometimes it's like, I'm gonna go to the lesson like this, I'm gonna do this, and then here it is. This is, you get to take a little detour, And the detours are always fun. So it says core beliefs of supersessionism, covenant shift, the belief that the Most High special covenant status moved from ethnic Israel to the global body of Christ. Well, guess what? The body of the Messiah or Mashiach are Israelites. That's it. You got to be an Israelite. So let's see here. Where am I? I'm going to do this real quick. Let me see. I'm thinking, okay, that's maybe I didn't spell it right. Jeremiah 31. Let's see. I'll probably start up again. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's further down. This is. I'm gonna read here and then jump down. But it says Jeremiah 31:35. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves roar. Yahweh of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart from me," if those ordinances depart from before me. So let's see here. I did have ordinance, but it was in the wrong. I don't think it said set. So this is H2706. Chak. It says enactment. It says a statute, ordinance, limit. Let's look at what ordinance means. It says ordinance is a law or rule made by it. Okay. But it's okay. It's just that first part, Actually, let's put in etymology. Ordinance. Etymology comes from. Okay, let's see. To put in order. Let's see. Let's go to the dictionary. It says ordinance. It says decree, a command from Old French, from Latin or ordinatia, or to put in order. You also have the word or the phrase ordo ab chaos. So order out of chaos. So this means to put in order. Okay, simple enough. A prescribed task. Oh, there we go. A prescribed task. So the Lord told it what to do. It says, again, Jeremiah 31:35, "Thus saith the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day." So the Lord had created the sun, via Yahushua and the angels. They created, or Yahushua really created everything. The Heavenly Father created Yahushua and put Yahushua, to create everything. As it says in Colossians, the first chapter, it says, "Which giveth the sun for a light by day." So the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, put the sun for a day. Oh, where does it say right here? Ordinances. It says a prescribed task. So it gave it a task to do. He created the sun and gave it a task to do. You're going to be the daytime. You're going to be a light, a greater light. And then the moon, it says, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night. And this is all going back to Genesis, the first chapter, all in the creation, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai of hosts is his name. So these are very important things, on the earth that we need. We need the light. We need the sun, the stars, the moon. We need everything that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, is created. Really, we need the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Without the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, we wouldn't be. So Verse 36, if those ordinances depart from before me, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, if heaven above can be measured and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cut off all the seed of Israel for all they have done, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So, just in this supersessionism, how does that work? Because then I'll go back. Let me see, where am I? Oops. Man, what the heck? This thing doing it again. So, hey, look, I got it on recording again. You know, it's probably I refreshed the page or whatever like that. This thing doesn't take snapshots or whatever like that. I didn't change the question. I didn't change anything. And here it is. The AI overview is different. But, hey, still moving on. Supersessionism, historically known as replacement theology, is not a game of playing pretend. It is a serious, deeply rooted, and highly controversial theological framework that has shaped Jewish, Christian, there it goes, Judeo-Christian relations and values for nearly 2 millennia. Whether someone views it as biblical continuation or profound misinterpretation or a harmful doctrine, it is harmful. Because it's a lie. But no, it doesn't. Because it says Israel is never going to depart. If any of these things depart, then the covenant is no longer of Israel. He's no longer the Lord's people. So we're going to go back to Jeremiah. And we're going to read up. Because this is also in Hebrews. And it'll say right here, Hebrews 8 and 8. It'll tell you the same thing. Matter of fact, just for that, I'm going to go to Hebrews 8 and 8. Well, this the Old Testament, man. You got to be in the New Testament. And actually, in the New Testament, I don't subscribe to all the books. I only subscribe to the book of 1 John. That's the only valid book. Nigga, shut up. This is and it says here, a new covenant, Hebrews 8 and 7. For if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. And the fault was with us, as it says in the next verse. For finding fault with them, who was it them? The Israelites. We went off. The covenant was with us. It wasn't with all the other nations. There was nothing that Esau, Edom could do to get the covenant. And there's still nothing that he could do, no matter how much pretend he plays. There's nothing that you can do to get the covenant back because you were rejected even before Isaac gave Esau the blessing. He was already rejected from the beginning. From when Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, before he even spoke it, he was already rejected. So it's very beautiful. For finding fault with them, he saith, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. But that's spiritual. Nah, it's talking about the physical, the people. Not according to the covenant that I made with them, with their fathers, in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel in those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people. That is speaking about the Israelites. As a matter of fact, let's keep going. Is it Revelation 7? Because it's gonna start with the Israelites. Let's see. Revelation 7 and 4, and here the subheader says the 144,000. And I heard a number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Right there. But it's spiritual Israel. Theologians said it. pushing up your glasses. But anyway, it continues. It goes 12,000 from each tribe. That's the 144,000. That's the elect of the elect. The top of the class. Says Hebrews 8 and verse 10, for this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. So that's Israel. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness. Is it Israel that went off? Israel that played the harlot? Israel that played the whore? Israel that worshipped other gods? Israel that constantly went off. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. So, hey, we're in the times where this is getting ready to take place. This is why Yahushua came. So Israel could be saved. And this is all through the scriptures. But here it is. You have people playing pretend. As it says here, Psalms 50 and verse 16 in the NLT. As a matter of fact, I kind of want to see what it says in the other. Nah, that's all right. In the NLT, Psalms 50 and verse 16 in the NLT, it says, but the Most High says to the wicked, why bother reciting my decrees and pretending to obey my covenant? Because you're just pretending. You're pretending. You're pretending. Matter of fact, pretending is the act of acting as if something is true when you know it is not. So they know it's not true. Supersessionism, you're never going to replace Israel. The Lord said, if the sun stops, if the moon stops, if the stars stop shining, if the waves stop roaring, if any of these things happen, if you can measure the heavens, if you can measure the deep, if you can do any of that, the covenant is over with Israel. But guess what? The sun is going to shine forever. The stars are going to shine forever. The moon is going to be here forever. You'll never measure the deep. You'll never go into the heavens and measure the heavens. So guess what? You just pretending. It says the act of acting as if something is true when you know it is not, either to play a game, make believe, or hide reality. Ooh. Because this is reality right here. You are the Israelites. This is hiding reality. And tying into the lesson, Lord willing is edifying, but tying into the lesson, this is hiding reality from you. Why these things are happening, why you're seeing wildfires break out all over the world, why you're seeing, war, rumors of war, earthquakes. You're in beautiful times right now, but this devil is going to be constantly trying to hide reality from you, to make it illegal, make this word illegal, to make criticizing the wicked, prophesying his downfall illegal. Man, what's this dog barking at? Anyway. Hide reality. It says hiding from reality means avoiding hard truths or stress. And this stresses Esau out. He knows he has a little time. He knows it's over for him. People often do this to protect their feelings or to find comfort. Hey, well, fuck you, Esau. I'll hurt your feelings. Continuing on, says Psalms 50 and verse 17 in the NLT, you refuse my discipline and treat my words like trash. Yeah, the laws are done away with. You mean to tell me that y'all have superseded the Israelites, and the Israelites have gone through slavery, death, all kinds of mental illnesses, plagues, being at the bottom, all this. And you're going to do the same thing, and you're going to be accepted, even though the covenant was never with you, ever? Shit. You refuse my discipline and treat my words like trash. When you see thieves, you approve of them, and you spend your time with adulterers. That's Esau, Edom. That's this world today. Your mouth is filled with wickedness, and your tongue is full of lies. That's Esau, Edom. That's Esau, Edom all day. He has that double tongue, that forked tongue, words of war constantly in his mouth. They're like the how you say, like the vipers, venom in them. You sit around and slander your brother, your own mother's son. That's Esau, slandering Jacob. All day, bywords, chimping out, saying we're the violent people. Meanwhile, you've been at war. Shit. Out of your 250-year existence, I think only about 20 of them, you've actually had a little bit of peace, but even then, there wasn't. It was beautiful. Call us violent. While you did all this, I remained silent. While you did all this, I remained silent, and you thought I didn't care. Because you're silent. How you say, annuit coeptis. The Lord favors our undertakings. A manifest destiny. You thought the Lord was with you, but you didn't remember. You were supposed to get to this point, and you're going to be brought down. While you did all this, I remained silent. You thought I didn't care, but now I will rebuke you, listing all my charges against you. So everything is coming out against you. Your own tongues falling on yourselves. The prophets, starting with the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Bringing out all kinds of, news, information about you. It's beautiful. And all your charges, we're letting you know you're going into slavery. He who leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And he who, you show no mercy, you're going to receive no mercy. Beautiful. And that's it for that. Let me see. I was going to go to Revelation 13:11. Just considering that Esau, Edom, this is his rule. And it says the beast from the earth, Revelation 13:11. Matter of fact, what I just read here, Revelation 13:10, it says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And did not our people get brought here in slavery? Were we not enslaved? Are we not in slavery now? Or are not our people slaughtered every day here in the streets with the modern day sword, which is the gun? Is that not our people? Do you not expect the same thing to happen to you? This is what Esau fears. He's really scared. But guess what? Hey, the Lord is going to bring all this. We don't have to do anything. We're just speaking. And that's also the scriptures. You're making a man an offender for a word. We're saying the Israelites are going to get retribution. We're going to get paid back. The Lord is going to take care of us. The Lord is going to put us in a position where we're the head and you're going to be the tail. And you're making us enemies for this. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. This is Babylon the Great, America. And he had two horns like a lamb, and spake as a dragon. So it says this beast coming up, a Babylon the Great. It's that little horn that's in Daniel the 7th chapter, which was, the three others were plucked up, which is represents, England, Spain, and France through the wars that they had here. But this little horn also, it says it had two horns like a lamb, which a lamb is peaceful. But here, this two horns represents the two-party system, the Republicans and the Democrats, which goes back to ancient Greece. And you'll see a lot of things dealing with Esau Edom. It either goes back to ancient Rome or ancient Greece. And even Rome was heavily influenced by Greece. And even till this day, which should show you that these are the people. And it says he had two horns like a lamb, the Republican Democrat party system, even though it's a part of the same beast. You're not making a difference voting, this year I'm going to vote Republican, next year I'm going to vote Democrat, whatever. It don't make a difference. It's the same beast. It's against you. It said that this beast wore out the saints in Daniel 7. And he spake as a dragon, meaning harsh, draconian laws. Meaning what is leading to how Jake has been treated so far. Just look at the history of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, how the law has treated them here in Babylon the Great. So continuing, I put in here Draconian etymology, and it says the word Draconian comes from Draco, an ancient Greek lawmaker in Athens, who created a very strict written legal code around 621 BCE. His laws punished even small crimes with death, leading to the English language use of his name to describe harsh or cruel rules. So that's it. Oh, here we go. The name from ancient Greek, Dracon, meaning sharp-sighted or dragon. So that's it. Sharp. And this devil has eyes everywhere. Look at all the flock cameras popping up now. You being monitored at all times via your phone, the internet, everything. You're constantly being monitored, constantly being watched. And being watched by who? By a criminal himself. A criminal is watching you, making sure you're not committing crime. Okay. This is Malachi chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, woe to oppressors, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. So this is them. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And this is what they do. They plan all this stuff out. We're going to create new laws. We're going to create new measures, make these people's lives hell. Whatever, just because we can. It's in our power. And see, the scriptures even say that this devil loses sleep if he doesn't do wickedness. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away, so that they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. This is what they have the power to do. They can throw you in jail for any reason, make up a reason, whatever, find you guilty, take your land, take your house, take everything from you. And good luck fighting in their legal system because it's made for them, not for you. That says, I put in here, are America's laws getting more harsh? And it says, whether American laws are getting harsher depends on the area of law, whatever. It says, the U.S. criminal justice system remains historically and internationally punitive regarding prison sentences. What does punitive mean? Let's see. Punitive. Punitive means intended to inflict punishment, used as a penalty, or aimed at stopping bad behavior. It comes from the Latin root punere, meaning to punish. Punitive damages, extra money, a court orders a wrongdoer to pay in a lawsuit, which you don't have to be a wrongdoer. You could just be trying to defend yourself and you just don't have enough money. So you get punished. You'll actually lose in a case where you're in the right. Extra money a court orders a wrongdoer to pay in a lawsuit designed to punish bad behavior and warn others. Don't put up a fight. You don't want none of this smoke. It says how it says it wore out the saints. Punitive actions, harsh steps or penalties taken against someone for breaking rules such as fines, sanctions, or job demotions. Punitive tariffs, extremely high taxes placed on imported goods to penalize another country's trade practices. And those tariffs that happened here, you Americans were the ones that got punished by that. So this is beautiful. So the U.S. and hey, this supports what is said in Revelation 13. It says the U.S. criminal justice system remains historically and internationally punitive regarding prison sentences and mandatory minimums. So it's punish. It's meant to inflict punishment. It's meant to hurt. It's not to rehabilitate you. It's not any of that. It's just to inflict pain because they can. You are under the rule of the cruel. It says mandatory minimums, but recent legal shifts show a mix of expanding regulations, restrictions on civil rights in specific states, and localized criminal justice reforms. Long-term trends: the U.S. maintains higher incarceration rates and longer sentences than most other developed democracies. Does not that sound draconian already? And it's only going to get worse. You pushes political polycows. I've never heard of that word. Polycow. Okay, never mind. Polycows and federal shifts frequently target specific offenses such as financial or low-level fraud, with proposals for stiffer penalties, mixed public views. Says growth. Says over criminalization. Figures like Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch have argued that sheer volume of federal rules and criminal penalties creates a regulatory environment where ordinary citizens face harsh unintended consequences. Massive code books, millions of words and new federal laws and thousands of pages of omnibus legislation are added yearly, making laws harder to track and navigate. So you can break a law and have no idea, no clue, and then you'll have to speak legalese. You know, you'll this place is a nightmare. But anyway, let's see. I had here, why is Texas giving harsh punishments for marijuana possession? Because they changed the legislation to where, matter of fact, let me do it like this. I'll just get to the because the last few years this has been legal, completely legal, whatever. It ain't like I don't like this stuff, but it's been legal. They've had people getting used to it, and now they made it illegal just overnight. And it says, as of July 31st, 2026, possession of Delta 8 is illegal in Texas, which they sold it everywhere. Gas stations, the little smoke shops, wherever. You could find Delta 8 everywhere. They had signs up for it everywhere, advertising everywhere. You couldn't go nowhere without seeing no bullshit like that. Following a Texas Supreme Court decision and enforcement by Texas Department of State Health Services, Delta 8 is classified as a Schedule 1 controlled substance. Possession can now be charged as a state jail felony, carrying 180 days to 2 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Larger amounts can carry higher felonies. It says banned substances, that's fine. No, I'm not looking for that. It says under 400 grams, state felony, 180 day. Okay, I just read that. But that's ridiculous for a lot of the nonsense that goes on around Texas, like, or just or in general. You got trafficking. Matter of fact, I don't know all the laws like that. I don't feel like searching that. But anyway, you have other things where somebody would get a lesser that it would get a lesser charge or whatever for a more offense or a higher offense, however you say that. So also another one I had here was America. Here, what I'm saying is here in America, speaking out against, you see it, Pisreal, what does it say? To be punished. Speaking out against Pisreal to be punished. So people in the U.S. who speak out against Memorial face consequences like state and federal anti-boycott laws, professional or academic fallout, and immigration scrutiny. And these are the people that are really playing pretend. You know, these are people that really, you know, which you have actual Israelites scattered among them. Remember that Israel is scattered into every nation, looking like those different nations, speaking like those different nations, even growing up like those different nations. Same way that you found out you're an Israelite. Guess what? You were living amongst these nations. You were Americanized, and now you're coming out of it. You know, you grew up in whatever community that you grew up in. You were a part of that community, and you found out you're an Israelite. So people in the U.S. who speak out against Israel, face consequences like state and federal anti-boycott laws, professional or academic fallout, and immigration scrutiny, deportation threats for non-citizens, though free speech protections under the First Amendment frequently spark legal challenges. So you should have the free speech, but this is a nation of hypocrites that they don't care about any of this stuff. They don't care about their own laws. They don't care about the Heavenly Father's laws. And that's something that, to come to terms with. They don't care about their own rules, regulations. What makes you think they're going to care about the Heavenly Father's? It says legal and legislative measures, anti-BDS laws, numerous U.S. states and federal proposals penalize or restrict businesses and contractors that boycott, you see it, settlements, which critics and groups alike argue infringe on free speech rights, because they're stealing the land. Aha, even the ancient places are in our possession, and it doesn't belong to either one of them. But hey, they're out there. They're committing a genocide. They got the Greater Pisreal Project. These people are doing a lot of things. They human smuggling operations all around the world. They're doing a lot of things, and you can't speak out about it. So, and there's harsh penalties to that, and it's only going to get worse. It says sanctions and official retaliation. Federal actions have occasionally targeted international and domestic figures critical of U.S. and policies, though some of these measures have been blocked or challenged in federal courts. Professional and social impact, employment and academia. Students, professors, and professionals expressing pro-Palestinian views or criticizing primarily military actions have reported job losses, withdrawn offers, or disciplinary actions from institutions. Right? Activists and non-citizens speaking out have faced heightened scrutiny, detention, or removal proceedings by federal immigration authorities. So that's the worst thing going. The worst thing you can do is speak out against the small hats. You can do anything else. Well, you can't. You can't have Delta 8, but you can do anything else. You can be a Mo, a child Mo, adulterer. You could be a thief. As long as you're a white collar thief, you'll get off. You can be a scumbag. You can be anything, a murderer, whatever. Just as long as you're not speaking justice. As long as you're not speaking righteousness, you can do whatever you want. Moving on. This is Sirach 34 and verse 22 in the GNT. It says, "It is murder to deprive someone of his living or to cheat an employee of his wages." And this is what you see all through here. You send somebody to jail for 180 days for some little, for some, Delta 8, whatever. Something that's been whatever. All this stuff comes, we're in Babylon the Great. All this stuff comes with different spirits, whatever. People here do whatever they want to do. They drink all day, do all kinds of drugs, whatever. I'm not saying all that, but this too. It is murder to deprive someone of his living or to cheat an employee of his wages. So, say, speaking out against the small hats. Now you can't get a job. Now you fired from your job or whatever. Now you facing scrutiny. Now you getting deported, whatever it may be. The same thing with being thrown in jail for 180 days. How long is 180 days? 6 months? When you get out of jail, you ain't got no job. So you stealing wages. And not only that, that prison labor, they make money off of that. Big money. Filling them prisons, that's big money. The ICE deportations, big money. So the murderers, what do you expect from murderers? You think you're going to stop? Revelation 20 and 4. And when it comes down to it, taking that MOTB, that micro C-hip, this is what it's going to come down to. All these harsh laws, if you want to keep being in society, this is what you got to do. And it's going to monitor you. Are you thinking about anything bad? What is that? What is that Twilight Zone episode? I'm butchering it. This refers to the chilling catchphrase from the Twilight Zone episode "It's a Good Life," Season 3, Episode 8. Based on Jerome Bixby's short story "It's a Good Life," it involves Anthony Fremont, a terrifying 6-year-old boy with godlike mind-reading powers who banishes anyone who displeases him to a mysterious place called the Cornfield. So you see him right there. But anyway, they were gonna put this device in you, and it's gonna read, your biometrics, everything. It's gonna be able to tell whether you're thinking bad thoughts, illegal thoughts. This is Revelation 20 and verse 4. You know what? Yeah, 20 and verse 4. "And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua." So ultimately, not every Israelite, or those, that are believing in Yahushua. Not every one of us is gonna die. But those that will, is for a witness to Yahushua. There's gonna be a reward for that. "And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua," because they were witnesses. We're testifying that this is true. "And for the word of the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Mashiach for 1,000 years." So there's a reward for all this. For it says, "And which had not worshipped the beast," so you're not taking part. Yeah, we got to be here. We got to work, whatever. We're not worshiping this devil. We're not worshiping this beast. We're not bowing down to it. We are chanting and hoping for the downfall of this place every moment that we're here. Neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. So we're not taking your mark. We're not doing anything in a society. And guess what? Because we don't want to do this, we don't want to bow down, we don't want to worship your image, we don't want to take your mark. Guess what? You're going to be beheaded because of this. You're going to be ostracized because of this. This is beautiful. Let's see here. Revelation 2 and verse 10. Because the laws are getting harsh, and it's only going to get harsher. It's leading up to that point. When the MOTB comes out, it's either you're going to take it or you're going to die. And expect these laws to get more and more ridiculous, more and more harsh. You know? More and more. This devil is coming down with great wrath because he knoweth that he have but a short time. He's got to do something. So what we do is keep watch and report. This is Revelation 2 and verse 10. Fear none of those things. And this is Yahushua speaking. You see it in the red. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. So we're gonna suffer, but don't fear it. You fear all this BS more than Yahushua, more than the Heavenly Father, Yahweh? You fear all that more than me? The scripture says, as a matter of fact, where is it? There it is. Isaiah 8 and 13. So let's go back and get that. And I'm going to close out after this. You know what? I almost want to see what it says in the Bible Hub. I'll read this in the NLT, Isaiah 8 and 13. It says, make Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua of heaven's armies, holy in your life. I mean, to be separate, you know? And Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, he's holy, completely separate from the world. He is the one you should fear. So not the heavy breathing, all that BS that Esau Edom is coming down with all that great wrath, all that, because the scriptures say he's already, what you read in the scriptures, it's already been written. It already happened. We're just playing it out. He has to do this. The elect are still the elect. 144,000 still got the victory. Make Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai of heaven's armies holy in your life. He is the one you should fear. He is the one who should make you tremble. So him. That means if you fear Esau, if you fear any of them things that are going to come upon you, you fear all that stuff more than the Most High. When it's the Most High bringing all that. When it's the Most High that created all this. That created the waster to destroy. That created spirits for vengeance. Let me see where else. Amplified, it says, "It is the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua of hosts, whom you are to regard as holy and awesome. He shall be your source of fear. He shall be your source of dread, not man." So it's Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Fear him. Let me see. Back to Revelation 2 and verse 10. "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days. It's a set number of days. It could be 10, it could be however long. But this is part of your trial. Sirach 2 and 10. Constantly endure. I'm sorry, Sirach 2. This is Sirach, the second chapter. But constantly endure. All the things that you go into, this is to build you up. Going glory to glory. Shining more and more until the day that Yahushua is revealed. So, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. And I already read how the elect got the victory. I already read about the 144,000. And it's already said that the covenant is with Israel. So this has to play out. Israel still has to get the covenant. The second covenant. All this has to be fulfilled. And Lord willing, this has been edifying. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. Hey, Shalom.